Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Wilson, the ACBL Clubhouse Manager here on BBO. The ACBL Clubhouse is a friendly place to play, to learn, to work on your game, and it's a good place to earn ACBL Masterpoints as well. In this video, I'll be looking at two hands and discussing some of the interesting points in both the bidding and the play that may be useful in your own bridge game. All right, let's jump in. On this first hand, East is the dealer. East and West are vulnerable, North and South are non-vulnerable. And East passes. Certainly don't think you have a bid, so you pass. West passes, and your partner opens one heart. Now East overcalls one spade, and it's your turn to bid. Now I want this to be a discussion, so please feel free to jump in and to chat to the table and to tell us what you think. What would you bid over one spade? Well, to me, there is a standout bid. Yes, that bid is indeed one no trump. The strength of one no trump is about 7 to 10, and it promises a spade stopper at least. Here, with your two spade stoppers, partner is not going to be disappointed at all in your hand, should partner decide to bid on. Well, partner does not get to bid on because West bids next with three hearts. Now you take a look at what three hearts shows, and three hearts shows four card support and 7 to 9 points. That is a little bit interesting. You weren't necessarily expecting that to happen, but East now bids three spades. This is a rather surprising turn of events, but what do you think? Okay, everybody passes. Partner doubles. Now we kind of know that partner can't have a lot of spades, but this bid is, in theory, supposed to show extra values, right? All you've done is bid one no trump, and yet partner is bidding some more. When you look at the description of the description of the double says that it shows 17 to 22 points. But in that 17 to 22, it could include distribution. It also says that the double shows two or more spades, but I don't personally believe that for a moment. I have a very hard time believing that partner has two or more spades. Four hearts. Okay, that's certainly a choice. Would anybody bid anything other than four hearts? I'll rephrase that. Would anybody other than me bid anything other than four hearts? Well, I think if I were going to bid, I probably would bid four clubs. I don't think that uh, it's super likely that hearts is our best place to play. Like, for example, partner could, I mean, it doesn't look like partner has many spades. East overcalled one spade showing five or more, and West's jump showed four spades. So it's possible that East only had a four card suit for their overcall. I mean, that's certainly possible. but it doesn't look like partner has more than one spade. So I'm not sure I'd want to play in hearts. I think maybe I'd rather play in clubs, but I chose what I think is the obvious bid of pass. I don't think the opponents are going to come close to making this. Partner has extra strength, and I just don't see where our opponent's tricks are going to come from. And what about for a lead? I feel like the Jack of Hearts stands out a mile, even though a lot of times we talk about against a doubled part score that a trump lead is right. It does not feel right to lead a trump from this holding. So I chose the Jack of Hearts, and here is the dummy that you see. All right. Declare takes the Ace of Hearts, and Declare leads a diamond. Then Declare leads the Queen of Spades. Would you cover that? Would you play low? I think it's definitely right to cover. Might as well make their queen and their ace get two cards, but partner discards on that one. Not perhaps a major surprise, but that is what happened. Next, Declare leads another diamond and finesses. Cashes the king of diamonds. This is starting to get ugly. And then leads a club. Yeah, I think we should probably let partner win this one. Partner does. And then partner plays the king of hearts next. Now Declare roughs a club. Declare roughs with the seven. And you're kind of stuck here. You can't really afford to lead a spade. So you lead a club. But unfortunately, this heart has now been turned into a winner. So Declare plays it. And then it doesn't matter what you do next. And Declare makes 10 tricks. So my score on this hand was minus 930. But I think it's an interesting hand to discuss because now that you can see all of the cards, what do you think? What went wrong? Why did we go minus 930? By the way, I scored a whopping 13.4% for minus 930. But considering I thought I was going to get zero, I was happy with 13.4%. Well, a few things. First of all, I'll go ahead and show you all the cards here. And let me upload this hand again. Remember that there were three passes. Would you have opened the north hand in fourth position? One of the things that we talk about when we think about opening in fourth position is we recognize the value of the spade suit. And we sometimes talk about when you're in fourth position that we add our high card points to the quantity of spades that we have, and that we only consider opening if we have 15 or more. With zero spades in fourth position, the north hand is quite on the edge of whether or not they should open. It's so likely that your opponents have a spade fit that maybe it's okay to pass. Now, I have to admit, I probably would have opened also. But it goes to show you, I think it's a good lesson in the value of the spade suit and whether or not you must open in fourth position. Then something also happened in the play after it went one heart, one spade, one no trump, three hearts, pass, three spades, pass, pass. I don't think that North can double. If you think about what is partners showing for their one no trump bid, they're showing 7 to 10 or so and a spade stopper, but they're saying their points, some of their points are in spades. And if that's the case, I just don't think that you can double. If you really want to bid, I think that you should bid four clubs with the north hand. But the truth is, I think that you should pass. And I think that you should hope that you have enough to defeat three spades. And if not, then you should go back and curse yourself for having opened a heart in the first place when you could have just been passed out. But then even in the play, you led a heart and they took the ace. They led a diamond and partner played the jack of diamonds. Well, in theory, we teach you to play second hand low to make declare guess. Had partner played second hand low, do you think there's any chance that declare would have inserted the 10? I mean, if they insert the 10 and it loses, well, that's one trick for the defense. Then you can cash the ace king of clubs as 2-3 tricks for the defense. And based on the one no trump bid and the leaving of the double in, you might have two trump losers and you'll be down. I don't think that there's any chance at all that Declare would have risked playing low. I think Declare would have just played more for a cross rough type plan, and that may or may not have worked out for Declare. It probably would have been okay, but it might not have been. Declare might have ended up with two more losers. But partner's play of the Jack of Diamonds, it just really sabotaged you. Now, after the play of the spade, now you were able to finesse a diamond, knowing that the only reason they would play the jack from the north side was that they had Queen Jack. And so that was kind of diabolically bad as well. Now, I'm not one to blame the robots, but in this case, both opening and the double and the play of the Jack of Diamonds, I look at my minus 930 and I think I'm just going to blame that on the robots. And as I like to say, on to the next one. So we got one more hand for you. And this one, I think, is also quite interesting. On this one, your partner is the dealer. You're non-vulnerable. The opponents are vulnerable. Partner opens a diamond, and the next hand passes. In playing with Gibbo, this particular robot, you really only have two choices, I believe. Maybe there's more. You could bid one no trump, or you could bid two diamonds. Two diamonds shows 10 or more points. You only have nine. I mean, you do have a fifth diamond and maybe you have a doubleton heart, but partner might expect a little bit more for two diamonds. But then I also think, gee, do I really want to play no trump from my side? I mean, if anybody has any honors in the majors, it's going to be partner. So I don't really want to play no trump from my side. I think I'd rather play it from partner's side. But my question for you is, what do you think? How would you respond over one diamond? Would you bid one no trump? Or would you bid two diamonds knowing that that shows 10 or more points? Gibbo plays the inverted minor convention. Let's take a little poll. One no trump or two diamonds? I believe you're too strong for three diamonds. Three diamonds is more of a preemptive raise, and I think that you have about an ace too much for a three diamond bid. Okay. Well, the one voter, two diamonds, that's the bid that I also chose. Yes, I recognize that I'm bidding this a little bit stronger than maybe I have, but nonetheless, I like my fifth diamond, which I'm not guaranteed to have for an inverted minor, and I have good trump. Maybe I'll add a point for my doubleton heart if partner needs me to justify the bidding in the post-mortem, and that's what I chose also. Now, next, West bid two hearts. Partner bid three diamonds. Three diamonds is supposed to show additional diamond length. So it doesn't show any extra strength, but partner is saying that instead of just four diamonds, that they have five or more diamonds is the common property of a three diamond bid. And then East bids four hearts. And it's your turn again. Now it's kind of really tough. My opponents are jumping to a vulnerable game, believing that they have a vulnerable game. And what about me? Would you pass four hearts? Would you double four hearts? Would you bid five diamonds? I do think that you know you have at least 10 diamonds between you. You're not vulnerable. Got a couple of five diamond bidders. Well, I think this is also a very close decision, but I did also choose to bid five diamonds, and it went all pass. Now, this is being played by partner, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over and show you the North card now. And we got a lead of a low heart. So just remember now that you're playing from the south hand first as you're declaring. But for the most part, this looks like this is going to be pretty straightforward. You're going to lose two spades and you're going to lose a club. The only thing that you could possibly hope for is that somebody started with ace king doubleton or maybe even a singleton ace of hearts and you could get somebody to break the club suit for you. Um, while it's not likely to happen, I do think it's the right way to play. Okay. Give you just a moment here to get the voice back in case we lost it. Now you want to draw trump, and you also want to eliminate this heart from the dummy because the goal is to try to get the opponents to break clubs. If you can get the opponents to break clubs, maybe you can avoid a club loser. So the way to do that is to overtake and dummy and then trump your other heart. Now you can go ahead and draw trump. Now, you have to lose the ace and king of spades, but as I said, if it's perhaps singleton ace or singleton king in one hand, then you would be able to force that hand to then break clubs. They wouldn't have any more spades to lead. So you try a spade, but they take the ace. They take the king, and they play another spade. And now you're forced to hope that either the clubs are queen, jack, doubleton, or maybe West has a singleton, but it doesn't quite seem like that's possible. And nothing good happens. So you go down one. Then you can see all the cards. How does it feel? Well, if I look at how four hearts was going to do, we were going to get a diamond, and we were going to get two clubs, and we were going to get a spade. My five diamond bid was not best. Maybe after bidding two diamonds, I could have left the decision up to partner. I don't know if partner would have bid five diamonds or if partner would have passed four hearts. I don't know because I never gave partner that chance. But on this board, I've got 36.1%. Now, I do often think it's important to show you the bad boards that I get as well because I think it's an important lesson because everybody makes mistakes. No matter how good or how experienced the players are, everybody makes mistakes in bridge. So I think that these two hands are a good example of showing you how everybody can make mistakes. All right, what about, do you have any questions or anything else here? On this hand, your partner is the dealer. No one is vulnerable. Partner passes. East passes, and it's your turn to open. I think that the right opening bid here is one diamond. You're not quite strong enough to open one no trump, and you don't have a five card major. Your first decision, though, partner responds with one spade. Your first decision comes at your rebid. I think that there are two very reasonable rebids, and I would like to hear your opinions as to what you think the best rebid is. One no trump? Okay, one no trump is very useful in that it narrows your high card point range down to exactly 12 to 14, and that is what you have. Would there be a reason to bid anything else? Well, possibly it could be right to raise spades to two. While we typically think of that as showing four card spade support, there's one thing about your hand which points to possibly playing in a suit contract instead of playing in no trump. And that is your small doubleton in clubs. After a diamond, a spade, a no trump, you're very likely to get either a club or a heart lead, and your small doubleton club might be a liability in one no trump, whereas your small doubleton club might be a positive in a spade contract because partner would be able to trump a club in your hand in the short trump hand and thus gain a trick. So I do think that you should be considering raising to two spades, but I also think that for the rank and file in general, it's going to be a one no trump rebid. One key thing to remember about your one no trump rebid is it does show 12 to 14 high card points. It should be universal that anytime you open one of a suit and you rebid one no trump, when partner has responded, that it shows 12 to 14. Now your partner bids two diamonds next. This is just a natural two diamonds. Well, two spades might be a better response because of your doubleton to small diamond, your lack of ability to stop clubs, and the fact that if partner was to trump a club, partner would be trumping a club in the short trump hand. So even if partner has only four spades, the opponents are not going to be able to run a whole bunch of clubs against you in a no trump contract because you will be able to trump that. And you might be able to predict that during the auction. And that is what might lead you to raising to spades. You could even pass one spade. That wouldn't be outrageous. But with 14 points, maybe it's too likely that partner has a good 10 or 11 points and that game is still a possibility. But I don't think pass is the worst bid I've ever heard either over one spade. So it's now your turn to bid again. What do you think here? Are you happy playing two diamonds? Two diamonds has the advantage of partner might even have five or six diamonds and four spades. This might be a great contract. Again, the same scenario of you're going to be able to trump clubs if the opponents lead clubs repeatedly. You'll be able to control them via a trump suit. What about the strength of partners two diamond bid? Right? Not only does it show diamond support, but it also has a strength. And that strength should be less than game invitational values. So essentially, this is a preference. Partner is preferring to play two diamonds rather than one no trump. Do you have any reason to overrule partner? No, no, I don't think that you do either. Well, it is, but perhaps if you were going to play in spades, you would have either raised spades before. Once partner has preferred diamonds, partner may then take your two spade bid as uh, some sort of game possibility still existing. Once you've rebid one no trump, I think it might be more dangerous to bid two spades now. Um, Partner knows that you have at least four diamonds, right? Because I think it might be a little more dangerous to bid two spades now. If you were going to bid two spades, I think you should have done it immediately over one spade. I don't think that you should do it now. Okay, so you're going to play two diamonds, and then let's talk a little bit about the opening lead and what your plan would be once you did that. The opening lead, sorry, the opening lead is a trump, two of diamonds. And now you see the dummy. What is your plan going to be? Well, I think that your plan should be drawing trump and establishing spades, possibly doing so sort of at the same time. You would prefer to lead spades from the dummy. So if maybe you win the second spade, the second diamond in the dummy, and then lead a spade to your hand. Maybe East has the ace of spades. Certainly, I think that you would still again rather or prefer to lead a spade from the dummy. Now East discards an encouraging club. East then returns a heart. Then they shift to the suit partner asked them to play. But at this point, you can claim. And dummy is good. Also, the 10 of hearts is good. And I do think there's a few things that are worth looking at here. And one of those is the fact that playing in a suit contract was much better than playing in one no trump, right? In one no trump, certainly you would have lost, it appears, five clubs, and you would have lost two hearts, and you would have lost the ace of spades. So getting to a suit contract here is the way to win. Two spades might have been okay, but on a club lead and repeated club plays, you might have had a little bit more of a problem. Your trump suit is not great, and you don't have the best of transportation between the two hands, and it could have been a little bit more of a problem. But two diamonds getting eight tricks. Well, how many match points do you suppose you earned for two diamonds getting eight tricks? And the truth is, I only have the preliminary. I don't have the final result. But you got about 83% for playing in two diamonds and making two diamonds. Okay, let's move on to the next stand. We'll do two hands. So this will be the final hand here of this session. Okay, on this hand, East is the dealer, and East passes. You open a heart. West passes. Your partner responds, one no trump. What would you rebid with these cards? Two hearts. I don't think you're quite strong enough to bid two spades. Also, the fact that partner has bid one no trump suggests that partner doesn't have four spades. So you may not have a fit Partner might have all of their cards in the minors. It doesn't appear that they have four spades, and they didn't raise hearts. So you rebid two hearts, and now West decides to double. Well, I'm not going to, three hearts could be possible, but again, it comes down to the fact that it doesn't appear that you have a fit. You don't have any reason to be more aggressive, and your singleton king of clubs is hard to evaluate. When I'm evaluating a singleton honor, I will give it either the high card point value of the honor or the value of the shortness aspect of the suit, but never both. So when I evaluate the king of clubs, I think, well, I kind of would like to give it 3 points, so I'll do that. If we had had a fit in spades, perhaps partner had bid one spade, then it might be more valuable for me to give my singleton honor the shortness value of it. And so I will do with my singleton honors either or, but never both. But West does double two hearts, and now East bids three diamonds. This is a bit of an unexpected turn. Are you willing to let your opponents play in three diamonds? We'll say one thing about the double by West is that perhaps West does indeed have four spades, and that could be problematic for you. Or are you willing to bid three hearts? After all, as Peter suggested, he might have bid three hearts the last time. What do you think, Peter? Would you bid three hearts now? I also bid three hearts, and that did end the auction. Now they led a trump. This is the dummy that you see. Well, interesting. Why didn't partner respond either one spade or two hearts? It's very interesting that partner chose to respond, but didn't respond with one spade or two hearts. Now, I'm not the robot, so I don't have all of the answers, but I think partner felt that they weren't quite good enough to raise to two hearts. They felt that two hearts would have been too forward going. So their plan was to bid a no trump and then whatever I bid, retreat to hearts. So just sort of just barely eking out a bid, which is what they have. But I think most of us would have taught you to simply pass with the north hand. Two queens and a jack, all in different suits, only three card support, probably is good for a pass. This five high card points is not, for example, an ace and the jack third of trump, where both cards might be valuable. So I have sympathy for partner's bid. But I'm also playing three hearts, and I need to figure out the best way to make as many tricks as possible. From the double by West, I do expect West to have most of the points. I agree, trying to keep two entries in the dummy is a smart plan. We would like to be able to establish the Queen of Clubs for a discard. And then we'd like to have our two entries possibly being allowed to let us lead spades from the dummy. So I think the King of Clubs first makes the most sense. This will allow us, if we are lucky enough, and I would have thought for sure that West would continue with a diamond, but West did not continue with a diamond. West then went back to trump. Certainly surprising. More surprising than East then showed out of trump. West is the one who made the essentially the takeout double, but East is the one with the singleton trump. That's a little bit unusual, but I think you're in good shape here. You can now use your Queen of Clubs to discard. And now you want to tackle spades. Probably West over there has the ace and the queen, but perhaps not. You certainly want to play East for the queen. Leading the eight will allow you to remain in the dummy the best. West takes the ace of spades and then tries to cash a diamond, but it is too late. You did carefully save that entry, and you can use it to lead the 10 of spades, and the rest are good. So what do you think? The fact that partner bid over one heart did allow you to compete and did allow you to get to three hearts. But partner's choice of bids was indeed very interesting. Certainly, you would think if you were going to respond that you would respond with either one spade or two hearts. Bidding one no trump was very unusual. Had partner bid one spade, well, now you would have bid three spades probably, and you certainly would have um, played in spades instead of playing in hearts. That might not have done as well. Maybe partners bidding in at the end of the hand looks genius. Okay, any other thoughts or comments or questions here? All right. Well, thanks for participating in Clubhouse Hands with Kevin, and we will see you for the next session very soon.